It is 4:45 in the morning, and it's like our last full sea day on the cruise. And I decided that I wanted to get up early and try and catch a sunrise. Yep, still black. That's good. It's kind of weird walking around the boat this time of the ship, walking around the ship this time of the morning. There's no one around, there's nobody up. It kind of gives you a very different perspective of everything. Now, I got up stupidly early this morning to try and catch a sunrise. It was something I decided I wanted to do while I was on the cruise, now that I've got the camera and the gear to be able to do that. And there's just something really lovely about a sunrise. I gotta say, this is not my favorite time of the day. I am not normally a morning person, but in order to do something like this, you've got to do something that you might not normally do. So I've got the GoPro ready to do a time lapse in the hopes that I can, well, A, be on the right side of the ship, but to try and get that moment. So I've moved up to the top deck to set up the GoPro. I hope I'm pointing it in the right direction. It's something I probably should have checked before I thought to come up here. It's getting very bright very quickly, which I'm really surprised about. And a little lesson in details, because I came up to put the GoPro on and then realized there was no SD card in it, so I had to go back down and grab that. Of course, disturbing my wife while she's still asleep. Oops. Well, that was pretty cool. Actually, just give me 1 second. Whew. Wow. What do you think? The room is a bit cramped, so I thought I'd come and get a nicer backdrop to shoot in front of. I mean, when you've got something like this, you got to use it, right? Of course. So, sunrise was okay. It was a bit of a bust. The sun kind of didn't appear on the horizon. It was just glowing, and then about an hour into it, this dial of sun appeared, and I mean, that looked fantastic, but I didn't get that classic kind of sun dome coming up over the horizon that I was really hoping for. But you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. I went out to try and get a nice sunrise, and I got a bit of an average sunrise, but I mean, it's still amazing. It still looks pretty good. Sometimes you put in the effort and it doesn't really come out the way that you want. And you know what? We're coming into the end of 2019. We're coming into the beginning of 2020. It's time to start thinking about some things that you want to look at for next year. Maybe some things that you've done this year haven't quite worked out, and you really want to look at what you can do next year to get that step closer. And that's really what I want to talk about today. I want you this year to not make a New Year's resolution. Don't do it, because you know what it's like. Those resolutions are probably the same ones you made last year. Most people never actually apply anything to getting them done, and those resolutions just turn into revolutions and become the same thing year after year after year. So don't do it. Instead, I want you to think about coming into 2020 with a different approach. And I've got a couple of things I want to share with you that I think will be hopefully of use to you. But I should first say hello. It's Paul here with The Business of Art, where creativity and commerce come together. Welcome to the end of 2019. It is almost New Year's. And so let's have a chat about a couple of things that we can look at to help us get where we want to go in 2020. The option to get up at 4:30 in the morning is not something I do every day. I know there are some crazy people out there that get up that early every day to make the most of the day. I'm just not that guy. And to get up at 4:30, I had to make a decision to do that. And it meant that I had to sacrifice sleeping in, because the choice to do something is also a choice to not do something else. To get up at 4:30 in the morning meant that I had to sacrifice the opportunity to sleep more. When we're coming into the new year this year, I really want to encourage you to think about, what do you want this year? What do you want to achieve this year? What is it that you're looking to achieve beyond this year? And rather than make a resolution, I want you to make a decision so that you can go and do what it is that you want to do. One of the most important things I've learned over the last couple of years, pushing out to make a creative business, is the amount of distractions that keep coming up that hinder me from being able to really achieve that faster and faster and faster. When you get a really clear focus, it's not just about what you've got your mind set on, it's also about what distractions that you are limiting yourself from seeing, so that you can hone in on that pinpoint thing that you're looking for. And so this year, coming into 2020, I want to really encourage you to take those dreams that you have and don't just let them be dreams. Don't let them just be something that revolves over and over and over that you never actually achieve. Take that dream, make a decision about what it is that you're going to start to do this year, and then go and do that. So dream it, decide it, and do it. And I know that sounds simple, and it's never that simple, but every journey does start with one step, that one thing that you can do next. And in the midst of that this year, when things come up that seem to hinder that process, don't look at those things as obstacles. Dan Sullivan is the founder of Strategic Coach, and he has probably trained more entrepreneurs than almost anyone. And he talks about a framework where he looks at the things that we would normally call obstacles as the stepping stones to guide us in the direction that we're meant to go. Because there are always going to be things that we don't understand, things that we don't know, things that we can't do yet. And when we come up against those things, and normally people would look at those and think, oh, it's gonna, I can't do it because this is in the way. Instead, look at them like stepping stones that are actually helping guide you. That could be that you have to learn something new. It could be as simple as finding somebody else to help you do that. Look at that and understand that that is something that you need to get over to be able to take that next step. And the third thing is patience. And I know it's hard. I struggle with this one all the time, because I really feel like I put in the hard yards and then I want the thing, but the thing still takes a lot longer than I ever expect. There's a really great phrase that I've heard a lot, which is that people overestimate what they can achieve in a year and underestimate what they could achieve in 5. And the understanding of that is that if you consistently work towards that thing over the next 5 years, it is very likely that you will achieve it, or at least be so much closer to it than you expected, because you start to gain momentum. So of course, as the sun sets on 2019 and rises on 2020, it's a bit corny, isn't it? Anyway, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. And of course, if you found something of value in this video, there is a good chance that you will know someone else who would find value in it as well. So tag them in the comments, share it with them, whatever you can do to pay it forward so we can keep helping each other out. Happy New Year! See you on the flip side. See ya.